Cali can bring to you and Austin's line?
A lot of speed. I mean, I think, we got that throughout our whole lineup, so I don't think it really matters who slots in with anyone here. Everyone kind of just meshes in quickly. They make plays and can add to any line.
Go ahead.
When Nathan McKinnon gets the puck on the stick against one, what do you have to guys? How do you try to contain that if you're defending against him?
Just try to keep him out of the middle, try to get someone on top of him and just kind of, kind of push him to the wide side. Try to get our D-man be able to step up in a good spot and, just have guys around the middle to support and try not to let anything through.
Is that easier said than done given his speed and power?
Probably. But, I mean, we've played some very good players over the last couple games here, and, he's another one that you got to be ready for.
How similar is the kind of challenge to him versus McDavid? I know no one skates like McDavid, but they're both so fast.
Yeah, I mean, they are similar in a lot of ways. Just their power when the puck's in their hands. And the ozone, just with how quick they can turn back on pucks, cut back, make a one-on-one challenge with someone, and, usually win that one-on-one challenge. So, like I said, for us, it's just trying to make sure we keep them out of the middle. We got guys around that are ready to support and help if needed, and just a lot of talk.
How do you approach this game as a whole, Mitch, going up against the former defending cup champs?
Yeah, well, obviously a very good team with a lot of depth through their forwards and D-man, and D-man obviously like to get involved over there. They got a lot of guys that can move the puck and skate and help the offense for them. So for us, it's making sure we're getting back quickly. Like I said, the real key I think is going to be trying to keep these guys out of the middle, try to track through the middle, and try not to let too much stuff go east-west.
Austin scored 3 straight games here. Seems to be in a rhythm. What are you seeing from Austin right now?
Yeah, man, just nothing really changes. Just his swagger like usual. He's just got the confidence when he gets the puck. He's making plays, and he's finding himself a nice that he's getting the puck in good spots. So I think for me, it's just trying to keep playing the way we've been playing and try to find him in areas that he can succeed in.
With Cali, what stands out to you about his shot? Because he does seem to have a pretty good release.
Yeah, comes off quickly. He gets it on and off the stick, and he's got good power behind it. So, he's another guy that can find himself in some really tight areas and get the puck on and off their stick quickly. So, be another thing that we got to try to find tonight.
What pops to you about McCabe?
I think a lot. I mean, like I just said about their whole really D-core. A lot of guys that can move the puck up and down the ice, can fly up and down the ice, play a lot of big minutes. So for us tonight, it's just trying to slow them down, try to make them play defense as much as possible.
With 11 and 7, you're out there even a little bit more. You're always out there a lot, but do you feel like you're even more in a rhythm? Like how does it affect you?
I don't know. Just try to wait and hear my name get called. Really, it doesn't really affect me too much. Just sitting there waiting to hear if we're going or not.
Dennis Malgin will probably be in a top 6 role for the Avalanche with some injuries on their roster. Just what are your recollections of him as a teammate and what he brought when he was in the team?
Yeah, awesome guy. Obviously makes a lot of great plays out there, moves his feet as well, and if you give him time and space, can make you look stupid. So another guy you got to be, mindful of and make sure you take away all those kind of things.
What's the challenge like when you're up against a guy like McKinnon?
Yeah, just another one of those centermen that can skate so well. You got to really find his speed early, like all the way back on their own end while he's building it up. Understand that. If they go, quick up or whatever it may be, it's a lot of times it's bumping back to him in neutral zone with a boatload of speed. So as a defenseman, you just got to be leery of that and leery of your gaps and when he's out there. And that line works real well together, him and Rantanen. And I think Rodriguez is up there with him now. So Rantanen's a little bit of a different threat than McKinnon, but he's a big body, really strong with the puck, and can make a lot of plays out there to each other. So definitely a big task.
So you guys just dealt with McDavid. How similar is it? Like, does that help you almost as you get into this one?
Yeah, I think so. Just I thought we did a pretty good job against Edmonton the other night. As far as defending, I thought we were really responsible, and all of us really took onus on the defending side of things. And obviously they're going to get their looks no matter how hard you defend, I feel like. But it's no different with this team. Really got to think about staying above and protecting our net front, protecting the blue lines, and build our game from there.
What has stood out to you the most about Auston Matthews now that you're in the same dressing room, you're seeing him day to day?
Say it again?
Stands out the most about Auston? You're seeing him every day.
Yeah, I think with all, it's not just Austin and everyone in this room, really it just stands out to me just their preparation and work at their craft, whether it's before or after practice, and within the drill, how competitive each guy is. It's really a nice change of pace, and it's a thrill to be here with a bunch of professionals like that working really hard.
bit of a different look? Like you're out a little bit more with Justin Hall. Like what stands out when you're in that situation with him?
Yeah, I mean, he's nothing different than a lot of all of us defensemen. Guys played a lot of games in this league. Great guy. We get along well off the ice too, and familiar with him a little bit. We go back to college days playing against each other, so it's nice to be out there with him. He just talks a lot and makes my life easy.
From a defenseman's perspective, when the car's out there and bouncing around, like it feels like it's almost positionless. Like we usually ask you about forwards, but what's it like defending the car?
Yeah, I mean, I don't typically. I don't find myself in a one-on-one with a guy like that too often. But just watching him creating space and his skating ability is pretty, fantastic to watch. It's really impressive to watch. His hands and you see highlight reel goals from this guy, and he's a threat no matter where he is on the ice.
11-7 arrangement's kind of been the hot topic around here lately, but have you ever dealt with something like that before coming here?
Yeah, I've played 11-7 plenty of times. Yeah.
What do you think of it? Do you like it?
Yeah, it's just one of those things you got to get in a rhythm, and different coaches coach it a different way. But yeah, it's you get to play with a couple different people throughout the game, so it's just communication is a little bit more important when you're out there, and it's really nothing too crazy.
How have you felt it's impacted the blue line, knowing that there's maybe 9 guys who could fill 6-7 spots?
Yeah, I think I haven't seen too many pregame skates with 9 defensemen out there, but it's good to see. I love more D-man in the room, the better.
Yeah, he's a really smart player. He works hard. His release is pretty impressive too, and just really smart player. I find he's just in really good spots all over the ice, makes plays, and hunts pucks. So looking forward to it.
Goals in 3 straight for you. Do you feel like you're in that offensive rhythm you've been looking for?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, I think just sticking with it and getting opportunities and obviously trying to make the most of it. But I think just offensively we'd had a little bit more time with the puck, some more great A opportunities, and I think that always helps just kind of get the feet moving and the confidence going.
I know you spoke to Jonas about the hand you've been dealing with this season. Do you feel like you've kind of turned the corner on that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this was much earlier in the season, I think, and there's really not too much into it. Just feeling good now, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, Auston, the goal that McKinnon scored against the Habs the other night, a reminder of what can happen. Then he gets that time and space, just barreling through like that. How do you guys kind of contain that?
Yeah, just trying to recognize when he's out there, and when he is building speed, just trying to get above him and not give him as much time and space. But when you play these guys, like him, McDavid, these guys that obviously play with a lot of pace. They're really good players, and they know how to make room for themselves. And they don't need a lot of space, and so you just try to limit that as much as possible, and just have that awareness when they're out there.
How similar? You guys did a pretty good job against McDavid the other night. How similar is the challenge when it comes to McDavid and McKinnon?
Yeah, it's similar. Just in the sense that they're both so fast and explosive, and they can just blow right by you. And especially when they pick up speed throughout the neutral zone. I mean, that's when they're most dangerous in the middle of the ice. So I think just trying to steer them on the outside as much as possible. And I think for the most part, when we've played teams that everybody's got speed, skill, but especially when you play some of the big boys like that, I think for the most part we've done a pretty good job of taking away the middle of the ice as much as possible. But obviously they're good players, and they're going to get their looks sometimes. What
about McCabe? Like, it's almost like you call him a defenseman, but he's almost positionless. Like, how do you, to deal with a guy like that?
Yeah, he's like a free safety almost, but same thing. I mean, you just got to be aware, and it's a 5-man job out there defending in our zone, and just make sure that you're trying to keep him in front of you as much as you can.
I know you've talked about the game of inches kind of working against you at times this year, and confidence, but what does it mean to you that you're still like on pace for 40+ goals, like even in a year like this? Does that resonate with you that that's a positive?
I mean, I think you can always look for positives in any sort of situation, and I think throughout the year you're going to go through adversity and stuff like that. And for myself, it's been a great I think learning curve and just going through that. And I mean, the main goal here is to obviously win, and that's what we're trying to do, and trying to build good habits throughout the regular season and put ourselves in the best position possible. So that's really been my mindset the whole year. Obviously, for myself, you always want more, you always want to produce and stuff, but at the same time, the team's always going to come first, and my job is to help the team win. So
it makes you mentally stronger, kind of? Is that what you're talking about with like the learning curve?
I think it's just, sure, going through experiences like that. It's not always going to be sunshine in roses. I mean, I think you got to go through stuff sometimes and just learn. So.
Dennis Malgin looks like he's going to be in the top 6 with luck in it now. Like, what will it be like to see him on the other side tonight?
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I played with Dennis, when we were 18 in Switzerland, and it was cool playing with him. A couple stints here, and all of us really liked him in the locker room. He's a great guy, great player too. Really enjoy watching him play, and happy that he's finding success here in Colorado. So it'll be fun to go against him as well tonight.
It's good. Yeah, obviously. It's been a crazy couple of weeks here and everything leading up to it with the trade deadline, and you throw a berth into the mix. Obviously things are a little hectic at home, but everything went smooth, and my wife and new daughter are doing great, and they're in Vancouver, and looking forward to hopefully getting them down here in a couple of weeks.
What's the daughter's name?
Romy Grace Shenh. Grace. So a little bit different. So Romee.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's Romy after? Grandmother? Or,
No, just heard the name, and just I don't know. For a couple hours after the baby was born, we were still looking at each other. We weren't sure, and wife liked that one, and we went with that. And so far, I don't know if people are lying, but they're having a lot of good feedback. So.
A lot of FaceTiming happening then?
Yeah. I mean, as much as you can. Obviously, she's busy. We got, now two other boys as well too. So her hands are pretty full right now. But her mom's there, and her sister's coming to help out. So that's when something like this happens, you get traded, especially with the circumstances. It's a lot of that's when you need a good support system and a great family. So we've got that, and a lot of people sacrificing. On that front to make sure she's helping taken care of, and obviously being a new father too, I obviously a little bit of guilt not being there too in the trenches and in the hard days like this, but at the same time it's sacrifice all around, and I couldn't be more happy to be in Toronto.
When you walked in here today, did the years melt away?
Yeah. It's the first guy I ran into was Nick Antropoff. So he was, So he was. I think we were teammates for about 3 years or so. So, yeah. I mean,
can come back too.
Yeah. He should. He still looks good. But I know for sure. It's just walking into this building, coming in this dressing room, it's surreal. Obviously, going through it all, like I said, as such a young guy. You appreciate what it means to play in Toronto, but not to the extent I do now. I think, and that just comes with experience and with age and maturity and kind of what I've gone through in my career in terms of ups and downs, but also you realize kind of how great of an organization this is. Not to disrespect any others, but this is as good as it gets as far as how they treat players and the passionate fan base and everything that goes along with it, how much people care. It's just, I've often thought about, if I'd ever get the chance to come back, not thinking it'd actually be a reality, but it's definitely crossed my mind. And, a couple times when you're, I've gone through waivers or free agency and stuff like that, you're always kind of, hoping that maybe the Leafs would give me a second chance. It never worked out. Maybe the timing wasn't right, and now I do feel the timing obviously is right, and I feel more prepared and ready for this opportunity.
How have you been trying to get into a rhythm here? You've done a lot of skating on your own. Even in Vancouver, play a couple games. You come here. Like, how have you tried to stay fresh?
Yeah, I was joking with someone earlier. That's pretty much my third bye week. I had one bye week, obviously with the league, and then came back, played a few games, and then Vancouver sat me for 2 weeks before the deadline. So I was kind of skating on, on my own, just with the skills coach there, and then played 2 games, with Toronto, and kind of feel like, the second game was kind of starting to feel good about things, and then another week and a half, 2 weeks off here due to circumstances at home. So. Obviously, all that's behind me now, and I'm looking forward to, getting going again. And not a lot of games left, obviously, down the stretch here. So, obviously, I'm looking forward to getting back in and helping contribute here, and obviously getting the field back heading into, the most important time of the year.
Can it help? Like, a lot of times players, when they go through an 82-game season, they feel banged up. Not everyone's 100%. Like, you carve off, you feel pretty fresh, I would imagine.
I mean, obviously, if you ask players you prefer to play, that's, when you feel your best is when you're kind of in the rhythm and it's kind of just, you're in a little bit of a groove. But at the same time, I've gone through experiences too where I haven't played in a certain stretch, and there was times in relating back to Tampa days where in and out of the lineup a little bit, and I think I can draw on that experience where I kind of understand the preparation, the work that needs to go into it, and sometimes it's doing some extra skates on your own or before the team, or a little extra workouts. So kind of working with the training staff here and getting that all in order. But in saying that, I feel like I could step in and play here as soon as they need me.
What was today like just in there? Were there moments where you're like, oh, that's still here, or that's different? Like what stood out the most, I guess, wandering around here today?
I think they changed up the stall colors a little bit. That was probably it. I noticed that. And then the big screen in the room, or the media TV, or where you do the video, that used to be the goalie stalls there, so that's kind of flipped around. So other than that, I mean, a lot of it's pretty familiar, honestly. There's only 2 staff remaining, I think, from when I was here. I don't think any of the same management. Obviously, no coaches, video coaches, everyone's gone. I was trying to think about it the other day. I don't know, what was Morgan Riley's draft year? I don't think I
were teammates for a day.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. So I didn't play with anyone. I mean, I know guys. I've played with obviously JT a couple times in World Juniors and World Championships and stuff like that, and know a few of the guys. The hockey circle is pretty small, and everyone's been super welcoming, and it's kind of nice to come back to a situation you're familiar with, city-wise, and just kind of how to get around. It's when you go to a new team, sometimes it's a little bit awkward in a transition phase, but I really don't feel that way at all right now.
In that respect, getting your old number back was big too. That's a step.
Yeah. I just basically the way it happened was they told me I was going to be getting 22, and McCabe I think got traded a day or two earlier, but he hadn't played a game yet. So I just texted him, and I actually met him a couple times before that, so it wasn't totally out of the blue. And I just said, "How locked into you to that number?" And he just said, "I've actually never worn it before." So he's like, "I could care less." And it's funny that's probably my number 2 Leafs jersey is probably one of the only jerseys that family and friends back home own over the course of my career. So we want to try to put it to good use for them again. And obviously it's a special number, I guess, just because it all started here, and it's kind of come full circle. And typically I wouldn't care about wearing that number. I've worn a couple other numbers throughout my career, but just in this jersey and having that leaf on the front, I think just makes it a little extra special.
Anybody like Dion or anybody from the old days text you, congratulate you coming back?
Who'd I talk to? Couple, yeah. I mean, Matt Stajan, Koliakovo, Mike Van Ryan, Mike Komisarek. Trying to think who else here. A couple other guys. Colby Armstrong. So yeah, there's definitely some guys that reached out. It's crazy. Yeah, I mean that feels almost like another lifetime ago in a certain way. But yeah, I'm thrilled to be back here, and never got the chance to have that opportunity to play meaningful hockey here. So this is it's a dream come true for this to happen again.
They still do that Armed Forces salute.
Do they?
They've continued it on.
Well, the last one I saw was Lupul.
Jeffrey
Lupul. Yeah.
Well, you started it.
That's fair. So yeah, I mean, I don't even know how many home games there are left. I haven't even looked, but not a lot to probably fire anything up at this point. But just focus on the hockey part for now.
Sheldon, goals in 3 straight for Auston. Are you seeing him back in that offensive rhythm of late?
Yeah, I mean, the goals to me are secondary, but I think he's been really skating well and on the puck, jumping into holes. I think in terms of how he's moving on the ice, I think that's more of what we're used to seeing. And the goals, I mean, the other night, he's follows up the play and gets a tap in at the crease. So I don't know if that's much of a rhythm thing as it is just that you're moving well and you're confident and you're getting to spaces. And that's more of what we like to see from him in terms of just getting around the ice and being, looks like he's light and free and all of that. So that's been really nice. It's been a few games now. He's been really skating well.
What are you looking for with Kelly with Auston and Mitch?
It's just something that we haven't really looked at much, but obviously with 11 and 7, things are pretty fluid there for us. I wanted to get Kerfoot paired with Lafferty a little bit more, Just similar type of skill sets in terms of how they skate and move with and without the puck. So I suspect things will move around a fair bit, but if I'm going to use Yarncroc from time to time in that spot, I just wanted to give them a little bit more familiarity, starting with today's morning skate. But I think you'll see things move around there as they have been.
Samsonov didn't go today?
Yeah, and he's fine. I mean, he's just like I said the other day, he's a little bit less than 100% and all of that. And we wanted to make sure he had a little more time to be certain that he was 100%. And he hasn't missed any time in practices or anything, but he's had a little bit of discomfort in the last couple of weeks that we wanted to make sure settled properly.
How did Luke look today? Just first time skating around.
Yeah, I didn't watch too much in the morning skating that way, but it's good to have him around the group again. I'm sure it's getting old being out there skating by yourself, not just with back in Vancouver since he's been traded here and waiting for the baby to arrive, but even leading up to the trade, he was skating by himself for the most part in Vancouver. He wasn't practicing with them as they were holding him up leading to a trade. So I think he's played some games for us, obviously, but it's been a long month or so here for him that he's been wanting to get into a regular rhythm. So it's nice to have him back.
The Stanley Cup champions in town, is this at all a measuring stick game for you guys, or what is the challenge that the Avs bring?
Well, we've had no shortage of difficult matchups and difficult games here recently. And today is another one, and there's more coming here for us. So there's that stretch of the schedule where you've got to be real good. I mean, Colorado's definitely playing more like you'd had expected them to get to in terms of their quality of play and level of play. They're in a much different spot than when we saw them around New Year's there. So yeah, to that degree, I mean, they have injuries and such, but the way that they play as a group, and certainly with their best people on forward and defense, they keep you very honest.
Encouraging to see Ryan skate ahead of time this morning. Is he feeling good after going through the surgery? Yeah, he's been feeling good. Anytime I've seen him bouncing around the facility, he's been feeling good since the surgery. Today was the scheduled day for him to get back on the ice, so everything is progressing that way. I didn't follow up much, but I don't think he was handling pucks or anything like that today. It was more just getting the legs moving.
You guys just did a pretty decent job on McDavid. How similar is that challenge with McKinnon versus McDavid?
Yeah, it is. Quite similar, and it's not just. I mean, we were looking at it this morning. I mean, I think we played Edmonton twice here, obviously, but New Jersey and Buffalo and Colorado. Those are the top 4 teams in the NHL at scoring on the rush, and we've played them all in a sequence here. So it's their team game, but certainly they have some guys that are on a whole nother level, and McKinnon is definitely one of them. So we've got to do a really good job there.
Just on Schenn, does it make sense to get him a full skate, maybe a practice tomorrow before thinking about getting paid?
Yeah, that's how I'm looking at it. Just for lots of reasons, but the biggest one that today's morning skate, you're not getting much out of that. He's traveled, and it's two days in a row he didn't skate leading up to today, and he'll get a chance to get a full practice tomorrow with players on the ice and competing and all of those kind of things. So we'll start to get him. Today is a good step to get him ramped up, and then make some decisions from there for the weekend.